All right, here we are. We are with Clara and Benita
Betina.
Woods. Betina, I am sorry about
Yes.
that.
Okay.
And we are we're going to talk about life, art, trauma, and it's with this team of unique women, and to get an idea of what is art. And I love that idea because I've always thought that everyone and anyone can be art, and sometimes it's lost in childhood. And I think for for Clara, it was found, and I think it's a unique story, and that's why I reached out to them to have a discussion about their life and art. So if you would, I'll pass it over to you. If you can kind of start in the beginning of how this came about, and maybe start from the beginning of when she was young or pregnancy, and then kind of go into there. So whoever wants to take it first.
Okay. So I'm Betina, Clara, and when I was pregnant, Clara had a stroke, so inside the womb, and we didn't know. So when we she was born, everything seems okay. Then when we realized that she couldn't open her right hand and do some things, we said, okay, something is wrong. So when we did the MRI, the doctor said it would be a nightmare because her brain was really damaged from the stroke. And they said she would not be able to understand, to do anything mostly. And
I was
then
curious about when they said that to you. Were you kind of like, nope, I'm not gonna let that happen? Like, what did you think initially? You're like, did you believe them?
it was strange because Clara was a very happy baby and interactive. So I was in the office. It was a Friday afternoon, and Carlo, my husband, was traveling abroad. So I was alone. And I started crying. And then the doctor said, "You are right to cry because your life will be a mess from now on." But my feeling was I need to go home and to see my baby because she is anything what they are saying. So I couldn't
Right.
connect her with what they
Right.
were saying. And I never taught her like until today, like, I have a kid with a disability, and like, I don't know how to explain defining her like this. It's just, okay,
Right.
let's try. I think the word is acceptance. We accept it. We will never look for guilt or like what happened. We had genetic exams, everything, but not like we need to know, otherwise we can't live. It happened. We need to
Right.
go on.
So, after that, then so once you had that diagnosis, what did you do next? Or what was the next kind of moment in your life of obviously not accepting that, but then what did you do from there? And how old was Clara?
Yeah, she was when she was born because it was
Okay.
inside of the womb. So
Oh, no, when they kind of discovered that she had,
okay,
hey,
it
this is not,
was like around 8, 9, 12 months
okay.
until we knew. Then we like just start living, doing physiotherapy, but we never like said, Clara cannot do that, or we are not doing that because of her. So we always try to live normal. And then I think the other turn point was when she started school because we thought she would be able to write and to read, and it didn't happen. So as she grow, we were always like, what she will do, because you learn that when they are kids, they are so cute and they don't need to speak. They are just, But when this age gap, like other kids are running, she couldn't run. Other kids are speaking, she can't interact. So things get really not nice. And
Yep.
then yeah, I think that I said, okay, now we have a problem. And I was worried what she will do after school. We are from Italy, so in Italy normally they just go to an institute and they don't have any opportunity. So when she was 10, I said, I will start doing her social media. She can be an influencer. She's beautiful. She's always laughing. She was always this
Right.
sunshine in our life. So I said she can be for other people.
Yes.
And then I always worked with marketing, so I thought it was okay. And a lot of people was just laughing behind my back, just saying this is crazy. And then she started painting, and I gave her a book of Frida Kahlo, and she was so much inspired by Frida, by her story. I think Clara, correct me. Clara, when she read the story, she said, "Oh, I can be someone. I can do
Yes.
something. I can also
Yep.
live in this world." And then everything changed from there.
How many painting, Clara? How many painting?
More than 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Um,
feel not there.
so I was curious, and Clara, how do you look at when people make fun of you? Like, how do you manage, since you are different, like, how do you manage that in your mind? How do you think about that?
When people like stare at you, or do already they make fun of
Well, I
you,
guess my
like you
question is
saw?
like, how do you handle when you were younger and people made fun of you or didn't understand, that you were different, and made to feel different or sad or something like that, like, because you seem to have such a smile and be happy, like, is it just kind of like roll off your back like the water on a duck's back, or how like, how do you think about those things?
It is for you. You feel sad? Do you feel like you wish to be as everyone else when you were smaller now, or you are like, okay, I'm now you are more used to, but sometimes you just wish to be as anyone else. When she
Yeah.
was in the elementary, then it was most the problem because she would throw rocks in the other kids or push their hair, and then the teachers would say, ah, she's throwing rocks like she's the bad one,
Yeah.
but we were excluded. Yeah, so once
Yeah.
I was going through the school and I saw all the kids in one side, all the teachers speaking in the other side, and then I saw Clara just sitting there, and I
Hmm.
understood why she was throwing rocks. And it was one of, yeah, you never know. I saw because it was an open school. So I think it was one of the saddest days of my life
Yeah.
because you are now confronted with the real world, and you say, okay, so it's not she's like just throwing rocks because she's rebel,
Yeah.
but because she's just sitting there and she wants to be part of something.
Yeah. um when did you first start painting, Clara?
So she started in 2012, more or less, but then she stopped for a while because she wants to do some sport, but we didn't find any because her right side is really weak. And then she started again around 2016, 17, and then she was destroying everything, so painting black, destroying, and we start seeing colors, forms, and we were, whoa, it's nice. And then when I gave the Frida Kahlo book, she said to me, she showed me the book, and she said, Mom, I want to do an exhibition in New York as Frida did. And I said, what I said? Yes, let's try.
To do it. Yeah.
And then do you like say why I said this to mom? Now I need to work, I need to do things, or you are happy with the decision? You are happy. Okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, I need to get you as my marketer then to do a exhibition in New York.
Mm. We
um
didn't go to New York yet, but we did a
oh,
lot. So
I
yeah.
thought you did it. I saw a video of you doing an exhibition. Was it in LA or New York, or where did you? I
We
thought you
did
did
in
something.
Miami in Art Basel,
Okay.
I think 3 years,
Okay,
and
that
when
was
it
right.
was hosted by the Louis Vuitton Group, and it was through Virgil Abloh. I don't know if you know him, but he was one of the best creatives designers, and he gave an opportunity for Clara. So he was a big inspiration, and then he died, I think, 3 or 4 days before Art Basel. It was shocking
Oh,
for
wow.
everyone. And
No, I didn't know that.
yeah, so he was the creative designer for Louis Vuitton Men too, and he organized all these. And he said Clara was doing something with Off White, and then unfortunately he was one that really see people and say I will help and I will open doors. So it was cool. She did
Have
an
you? Oh,
exhibition in Japan, in London, all over Italy, mostly Rome, Milan, Florence, Bologna, LA, yes or no? I don't know. I know. Laguna.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know she understands three languages. So how did that happen?
How did it happen? So I'm from Brazil.
Yep.
I
Portuguese.
moved to Italy. Then I met
Okay.
my husband Carlo. Carlo was born in Rome, raised in Florence. His mom is Dutch and his dad was Canadian, so it's a
Okay.
mix. When Clara was born, he was speaking English with her. I was speaking Portuguese. Then, when we realized the problem, doctor said you just need to speak Italian. But it was a mess. So she learned all the languages, all three languages plus her
Yeah.
language.
And so do you, for your communication, do you use like sign language or how do you like you guys communicate for more complex ideas?
Don't- So let's say the truth. She has a tablet.
Okay.
It's not true. Do you want to get? It's not here. If you want to get, no, she has a tablet that she could
Okay.
communicate with everyone.
Okay.
Okay, she's going to get.
Okay.
Not bring here? Yes. So it's an AAC software, and she's
Okay.
really brave. She can program herself and add and do
Okay.
things,
Wow.
but she doesn't like to use because it's so slow. Because she has this mobility problem, so if she's standing and she needs to open and everything, so she has her own language. And if we stay with her like 2 days, you start getting a lot. She can use also the phone because she can't write, but she has a very good photograph memory. So she knows some words like, I don't know, a video call or something, and she can then use when the phone makes suggestions. She used this a lot.
I see.
So when sign language, it's hard to learn because her problem is in the output of the information. So we tried Italian and American sign language, but it was hard.
I see. So basically for the suggestions she can that's kind of the quickest output is to use a kind of the
Yeah.
keyboard to I see.
And then
Okay.
she can read with the phone. So
Yeah.
she can read. Yeah.
Interesting. So the input output. So I thought about something for you. So I know Stephen Hawking
Yeah.
used some type of I believe eye tracking software.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be any good, but to like
Yeah,
basically
no.
the output.
Normally, with the eye tracking, is if you can't move, like
Okay.
then you just use the eye. Ah,
Yep.
how smart, Clara. We just put the computer a little bit more. You
All
can
right.
see us. Okay, this is her tablet.
Okay. Okay, I see. And so when somebody's communicating online with her, so is that then, from her account, obviously you're there too, but she can rapidly chat and do everything like that via her tablet.
Yeah, she can.
Um, so I think Frida is, I have two daughters, and so we've spent a little time in Mexico, and so whenever we see a Frida, painting of her, my daughters are like, oh, Frida, and so they know her as an artist, and I've always I've been inspired by her a little bit too. So that gave you some inspiration. Do you have any other artists that are your favorite or who you like, Clara?
Basquiat, Van Gogh. So we are still like making her instead seeing stupid things on the iPad that she starts learning more. This is
Okay, I see. That's interesting. Cool.
so she loves Van Gogh. We've been in some exhibitions in Holland and in
Yeah.
Italy. Also Basquiat. So Basquiat featured her in their account and they invited us to the exhibition here. Even when you were small, yeah. So and she like also some new artists that she also has contacted. Gregory, that's an artist from here. He does really nice things, but she still needs to develop more curiosity
Okay.
to, yeah.
So what do you have in store for paintings next? Your next, I guess, would it be a next series of paintings, or what are you doing, or what are you working on?
Now we just moved from Huntington to Costa Mesa.
Okay.
So her studio was in construction. We should finish in the next like week. She's coming now. She's saying because next week dad will be out. So normally he's helping her to painting because she needs help to open and to clean.
Yeah.
She has a place here where we rent. It's like a collective space. So normally here she does more drawings, and she was doing a series of drawings like in her word mostly. So it was all colorful. Has her self portrait, right? And she also worked in a illustration for a book, and this was really nice because she worked all by herself. So she have all the communication with the author of the book on WhatsApp. He's Italian, so she did all by herself. Mostly I was just overlooking like this. So it was really cool, a big step for her to do by herself without I have to say do this like you need to do. So this was cool, right?
How do you see the transition from when you're going to be helping her for a long time, but how are you trying to set her up when you may not be able to help her or you're not around? I'm just curious, I think that's a big question, but maybe important to, you
Yeah,
know,
I think for everyone that has someone with a disability, the big question is how about after me?
yeah.
Because we never know. We are still working on it. So, our goal is that she can be mostly independent and do things by herself or have a team that help her. You don't want a team in the work, not at home. You want to live alone. Yeah, she wants to live
Yeah.
alone. So, it's a step by step. I try to not think a lot because I think
Uh,
overthinking is not good in this
yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I hope that she will be able to have her life, her family, her, you too. But she needs to work a little bit harder.
Clara, how old are you?
18. You can say sorry.
Hi. Yeah, let her speak, Mom.
I am 18 years old.
Okay, awesome. So how complex, give me like I'm just curious, how complex of an answer can you give back with your tablet? Like, you know, maybe saying, Van Gogh or some artist, but let's see, let me think of something. If you, Clara, so like if your next paintings, when your dad is around and the studio's finished, what do you want to paint next?
Place you want to do like you bigger. Okay. Yeah, she has like, let's say this. Can I say or not about that you should be doing the practice? No, I can't. Okay.
All
She
right, that's
said
fine. We got plenty of time.
she said she wants to do a painting about her future.
I love that. I
How
think
we will be your future and to sell. She wants to sell the for 2,000, 20,000, for 20,000.
I think that's audacious, and I think that if you can't be audacious with your artwork, then in what you think about it and your value, then you like I don't know, you shouldn't be an artist. I love that idea. I've had those instances where I've sold paintings, like right, I've said something 5, 6 years ago where it's like, hey, if I sell a painting for that, like I don't, that's the feeling of that returning to you is incredible. So I love that. What do you want to paint? Is there a specific painting in mind or something like that? Or
No.
whatever comes to mind when you're doing it?
The thing of managing her, it's so
Yeah.
difficult. Managing her, it's so difficult because
Yeah.
it's not like an artist that I can say, can you paint in like Florence, and it comes
Yep.
Florence. Maybe she can paint Florence, but it's in her vision, and then she just says to me, like,
Yeah.
be quiet, I do my way. You are thinking? Do you want to say about what? Some paintings, the future, the this week, what we are doing. She wants to say about tomorrow we are starting a treatment with Dr. Amen. I don't know if you know him, but
I'm not
he's
familiar.
really famous on social media. And he is specialized in brain, so he is a psychiatrist, and he is also specialized in ADHD that Clara has. You think it's a little bit. So I've been struggling a lot with some characters. So is this character of Clara, or is this a limitation of her brain? So I don't know because, her
Yeah.
brain is not. So for me, it's her character, but I wrote to him and I said, from a desperate mom and wife, because my husband has a really strong ADHD, and but we don't have any money, so they have a foundation and they are sponsoring Clara. She will start treatment tomorrow, so we will be able to understand also like some reaction, some things, if it's just character or if has. I don't believe a lot in the limitation because I
Yes.
think she's really clever in all things. But I want to be sure because if she has some limitation, I need to deal differently and not get so stressed or like.
Yes. There's a what's coming to mind. There's a book called I'm gonna remember his name, but it's called Evolve Your Brain. And dang it, what is the guy's name? Joe Dispenza. And he talks about obviously different situation. He's a chiropractor, but he was in a terrible bike accident. So he was on his bike and someone came up from behind him, broke his back, leg, stuff, just a horrible like. And they told him, "Hey, Joe, you're never gonna walk again. You're never gonna walk again. Like everything is messed up. You're like almost paralyzed, just horrible trauma." And he didn't accept that. And he like through again like some combination of willpower and his mind, he was able to heal his body to be back almost to back 100%, walking, riding, running, doing everything. And that book kind of rewired my brain of how I look at the world of like, hey, the to restrict my mind would be to restrict my reality. And I think similarly for you, Claire, is like if you think you can't do it or think you can't, overcome it, then you certainly won't. But if you think you can, then there's a chance, there's a
Yeah.
possibility um to improve, to get better, to I don't, right, evolve your brain. I think there's something like that that I think we all have access to. So, I don't know if it's true or not for everybody, but like you were saying is like, that's it's there's if you're telling me there's a chance, then I'd like to explore that. So,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you know what? I'm very grateful that when we started, Clara, we knew and our life was different. No smartphone, no Facebook groups, no all this
yep.
information. And I think it helped because we didn't were like in a box. Because now when you have something, you have this box. You should do this, and as
Right.
parents, we can feel so much guilt, like, ah, maybe I should do this treatment, and I'm not doing, and everyone is saying we need to do. And we were really free in this journey to do what we thought it was okay and to try different things, even if like the physiotherapists say I don't think you should, or
Right.
and follow a little bit our instincts, not just relying, you know, in what people were saying. Because today is really, I think, as if someone as a parent of a small children has some of these big problems, it's really difficult to decide and to be able to say no, because you always say if I do that maybe. And I think for us this was a very good thing, because we don't, like when Clara had her first seizure, we even know she could have a seizure, so we never expect. I'm in some groups of people just that had a stroke, and they are like, ah, I know my kid will have a seizure, and so I know that I'm just
Right.
expecting. And this
Right.
is like, you will start just put limitations and limitations and limitations, and then you live more by fear than
Yeah.
yes.
So Claire, what do you want to talk about? What else is going through your mind right now?
You can say you want to say about seizures or about grandpa. If you want. She wants to say one thing about her grandpa. She's asking if
Yeah.
she can.
Anything. Yeah.
I can. Do you want me? So she was really close to my dad.
Mm.
Um, and then when we moved from Italy here, he was here because my brother lived here for 20 years. So, but then he was not feeling well, and we discovered a lung tumor, and he died like after 2 months we arrived here. So it was a lot traumatic for everyone, because you know we are moving country, and we had already, can I say, already the
Yeah.
pandemic, and yeah, it was not a easy transition. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, so and Clara, what do you want to say about grandpa? Uh, that you feel him? No. Ma. You miss him. Here in the US, everyone, no, he, you are happy you could see him. She's happy she could see him before he died.
Yeah. Claire, was he, do you think of him when you paint? Or what do you think about when you're painting?
This is a good question. Anything. She's saying that she thinks about my daddy mostly when she's sleeping and she feel
Hmm.
him. And when you paint, what you think? When you were small, Gigi, you've thought a lot about Gigi as soon as he died or before when he died. But now you are not anymore so much when you paint. But what you think when you paint
That's a
depend
tough
of the
question. I think,
painting. Yeah.
yeah.
Depend of the painting. And she's like, mostly she doesn't do any project. So I say, Clara, are you doing project? And you know, she makes some so cool paintings that I love. And then I'm like, I love this painting. It's perfect. And then when I arrive back in the studio, it's all covered. So sometimes I even cry because I'm like, how can you cover this? Okay. You want to talk about this? She wants to tell something. It's missing the T. Sieve one. She wants to tell that she went to a summer camping, no summer camp with Steve Wampler. Uh, he is really great. He has cerebral palsy, and he made all the climbing for the El Capitan, with the wheelchair.
Steve Wampler.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
has a documentary about him on Prime, and he has this camp for now 22 or 23 years, and he has kids with disabilities until 18 years old. It was the last year Clara could go, but it's really nice. It's all outside, so they sleep outside and they go to the river. It's like a dream place.
Yeah.
And Clara wants to make a camp for people from 18 to 25 in front of his camp. But you need to grow a little bit, and Dad will help you. I'm free, right? I can go to holidays when it, no, I need to control everything. Yeah. And if I die, then it's already organized. Ah, okay.
All
So
right.
if
I
I
like that.
die, I need to organize before I die.
Yeah, okay. Well, Clara, what are your big dreams, ambitions? Like, what do you have? So 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, like what are your audacious dreams and goals?
I'm saying you see why you need to exercise. So when we have interviews,
Yeah.
you are first. No, you just take your time. Yeah. Okay.
She
What's
can
your
take her time. We got plenty. I'm good on time.
Friday? We will start again doing this. My
My.
okay dream. Okay, you don't need to say that. I think this is a new dream of the camp that she
Yep.
just came. She wants to have a family of by her and two pregnant twins. She wants twins.
Okay. Yeah.
Always said, I don't know if it's still, but rescue house for guinea pigs. Do you
Yep.
still want that in the camp? So in the
Yep.
camp, she wants the guinea pig house and also your kids, everyone together. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think those are so it is so they have a camp for for kids. So ones have a camp for kids, have and obviously have
Young
a guinea
adults,
pig.
right, not kids. From 18, also small
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
Uh, Divided, different weeks.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So and that's so you want to have so obviously twins, so a family, twins. I think that the more specific you get, I think it's like they ask God for what you want, but expect something greater. And I
Yeah.
think that's what else could you do or ask for? So I love that. I mean, so I think too is like why not just say, hey, I think you're already internationally famous artist, but making a living from art, giving back to other people as a philanthropist, and
Yeah,
obviously
what
having
I
a
say, I always say for Clara, okay, you have a
okay,
disability, and it's sad and it sucks, sorry the word, everything, but I think God gave you a mission, and I think she does not realize yet, and it's difficult. She does.
yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. You know, you are embracing your mission now, step by step, yes.
yes,
So, and I think, she's 18 and she has a lot of things that other kids just dream of having. And I know that we cannot say, okay, you don't speak, but you have this, and it's not that one thing compensate others. But I think we need to learn to be grateful. And when we learn and we say, okay, what can I do? Change everything. So I always say, Clara, until I leave, you will do something. You don't be, and then people always ask me, but if she doesn't want to paint anymore, I don't care. She stops painting. She has already a community and she can do so many things, but she will not be doing nothing. Like,
Yes.
and now she's 18, so she can decide mostly. We want her to decide for herself. The surgery, you want to speak? Okay. I will just
Okay.
finish this and then I share. So people say, let's do a conservatorship that mostly she cannot have the power of decision. And we didn't do yet. And I'm really afraid from one side that people can take advantage and that, but from the other side, we are trying to find a group of people to advise her because everyone have mistakes, and it's really hard now because she's 18 and she wants to have her experience, and then we need to just let it go or know the limit and where she needs to go or she can go.
Yeah.
And she wants to tell that she had a surgery.
Okay.
So 1 year ago, 1 year and 3 months ago, and it was to fix her toes because they were like this, and her knee that was going inside. But unfortunately, she had a lot of complications after, so she stayed 4 months without walking. She had one seizure after that. It was. And her mind was strange. So it was a long, long road for us, for all the family.
Yeah. Um, all right. Well, my next question is like, so setting the goals. So that's I love that because I think that that is completely possible. So it could be for Clara or you. How do you think the handling of like the stress of having a mind that understands everything, correct? But not being able to kind of circling back of not being able to express everything, I feel like that makes Clara, that makes you grow up really quickly. Would you say that's true?
I think yes and no. She is really. Can I explain or not? I think she's a lot in some areas of her life really ahead, so she can feel things mostly more than other people. She can anticipate. She has a small gap in life experience that she didn't live, so with friends or things that mostly a 18-year would have lived. So I think this impact also somehow her life and her decisions. We try to be really open with her, so saying things how, not saying everything will be all right. No, the words is really bad, like, and in your situation it's 10 times more difficult, so she needs to be aware of that, that it's not. And we are like building this business with her, so not for her, but our goal is with her and what she can do. And it's complicated because it's all new and it's not so many people doing this. And as parents, we are trying, but we are making mistakes in the way. We are even, people can say, but how about the money? We just left all our lives to do this. So I'm working full time with her. We are surviving, we are investing everything we have, and now it's much more like to do something together. So if we are traveling, we can do this together. She doesn't need to be, if I have my job, she would be with a babysitter or somewhere else. Do you want to talk about the business or something else? The business? That when you were small, you were painting, but you didn't understand a lot. And now we were, yeah. So when she was small, she was painting and everything was fun. Mostly, yeah. And now
Oh.
it's real life. Now it's real life. So it's like you are 18, school is over, like you need to show up every day. You? Here, come in here. You are less anxiety. So before she would go to school, and it was a lot of stress because she never felt like. You want to say about the makeup? It was a lot of stress for her because she didn't feel like value for what she could do. In the other hand, the school was, for people with disabilities, and they had so many different disabilities, so it's so difficult to find the balance for all the kids because all these kids have different needs, and it's not
Yeah.
just like, okay, not normal, but it's complex needs. So, but now that she's off school, she's much more like doing things and not having this stress over her. And more else? She wants to share one thing that happened that was controversial. So, a friend in school makeup, and then someone just saw and said it was not perfect. She was okay with it. When you cried with the teacher, you didn't cry. Okay. I want to be diplomatic in this. So
Yeah.
she did the makeup. This friend did the makeup, and then when she came, someone said, you can't have the makeup, or they said it was all dirty, and Clara says it was not. So it's, and then they just clean everything, mostly against her will, because Clara didn't want. And when she arrived home, she was, I think, we never saw her really feeling bad, like feeling. And then she asked to do a video. So she's crying in the video. She's really crying. And then she made her flip off her finger, but
Okay.
not for the people. She was just saying people with disabilities can decide for themselves. And then I edit the video really not saying names, anything, because we don't want to. Our goal is not to create polemic but it's to raise awareness for the inclusion. So, and then she the same night she just make up herself. It was not perfect, but then we went out and she was so happy with her makeup. So for us, it was a big like step. Okay, she did that, and she was over by herself, and she was able to inside of her and outside to solve. So for us, but the video went viral, had almost 1 million views. So today he wants to put the video again. No, but then it was a little problem with the school. And yeah, so and then her teacher dropped her, said, I don't want anymore to be your teacher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's probably standard like teenage stuff going on there to
Yeah,
some degree.
for us it's so difficult because in another interview someone asked how much Clara is bullied, and actually Clara is not bullied like this, but I
Yeah.
said we as parents are a lot because what's bullied? Which interview with Deborah? So I say, we as parents are a lot bullied because of this road that we took, because we are going against and breaking barriers, and then you, me, and Dad, David, with you, that we are together. And then people do not understand. Yeah, she's saying that even in our family, they say, what are you doing? Why you don't just drop Clara in an institute and do your life? It's so difficult. So they see
Yeah.
the struggles, but they don't want to face. So it's much easier to just say, you know why. When I say Clara is a product, because then they say, yeah. Then
Yeah.
they say you are also inclusion matters movement. So it's paradoxal because we are doing all this, and then when we face our family they say, why you just speak about Clara? But like, you need to understand, it's not about Clara as a daughter, but about Clara as our job, as what we are doing as. And it's and then they just don't want to face yeah, these are some of her
Love it.
products. Yeah.
Well, Bettina,
It's
how do you balance that? Because I think that as an artist, where like, right, I have to be my marketer, like, right, and but where you're doing that for you, like, how do you balance, like, hey, I'm your mom and I'm
yeah.
also your balance, and and there's the also the that you're having to communicate for her and like kind of interpret and balance that. So I think that's striking a balance. So how have you managed
I cry almost every day.
that? Well, I think that's
it's
good. I mean, and bad,
Yeah.
but it's a
It's
um
hard because when she was smaller, it was easier because mostly it was fun. So let's do this, it's fun, and I give you an
right.
ice cream, and these things. Now I'm like, I'm not giving you more ice creams, it's
Yeah.
work. So it's like knowing that she will have difficult, so we need to balance. She needs to sleep, she has her own time, but also being like, since she was a kid, if she was a football player, every day she would be trying 3 hours a day and no one would say anything.
Right. That's that.
but
Well said. Yes,
but
exactly.
since she is a girl and she has a disability, and then
Yeah.
she just needs to be sitting in Netflix and it's okay.
Yeah.
No, because she has her capacity, like she can. And
Right.
then I get a lot criticized by a lot of people, and now I learn how to manage that and don't care. But in the beginning was
Yeah.
difficult. Now it's better because she, after she left school, is easier also for her. And we have this deal, like, Clara, in also I'm doing this for you, but if gets too difficult I will drop. And I have so many people that I can help and that they would be happy, and she needs to know that too. It's not because
Right.
I'm your mom I will be here forever. I have my life. I want to do things, but if you are just there, like, it's so difficult, like, because she's still a teenager, and then it's like, I don't want now. I don't want to, but I'm working
Right.
17 hours a day for you, and yeah, it's not easy.
So now, Clara, like, what do you think about that? So I love the analogy, like, right, if you're soccer, like, I get that. That is because I have two daughters and a son. So like, right, you're an artist, you're a painter. So if my son was, he's 14, 18, it's like, hey, we were working 3 hours a day every day for soccer, for some sport, totally normal, and that's acceptable. So Clara, for you, how do you think about that? Because I think, you're an artist. Are you putting in the 3 hours a day of like work every day? Like, how do you approach that? Or what do you think? Are you doing that? Or do you want to? Or what? A lot of questions. Sorry, I
Now,
put a lot of
yes.
things in.
Yeah. Now, yes, correct me, Clara. If so, when it was school, it was more difficult. Now we try in school. She was so tired after school, so it was also this. Now we try to say our schedule.
Yeah.
So let's say we have the podcast interview, we have this, you need to do that. So let's say Sunday we need to do an ad, so we need to do videos, and it was really tight, the schedule, so we try to organize in everything, because when we have shift, like the schedule shifts, she doesn't like a lot, so we try to, it's she's getting better. and she goes to therapy, so she's going to therapy that helps. And I try to always keep update, like we have a WhatsApp group, so I send things there. We have the calendar, we try to do that. And right now I'm saying you are 18, you are like working 8 hours a day. Like we are trying to find now a painting course that she can go and do Monday, last Monday, this Monday. She was tired, so she went to sleep. Yeah, we try to see, sometimes I say, we have this exhibition or this event. Do you want to do? She says yes. And then if she starts saying tomorrow, I say no. Like you said you want to, so
Yeah.
tomorrow. Tomorrow she's going to Dr. Amen, and I have an exam, a visit, the brain, and I will be happy if you go and do the brain. Are you happy? Are you afraid? Yeah, she's a little bit afraid. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, Clara, do you plan to paint for the rest of your life?
Do you want to paint all your life, or you don't know? You are thinking. You don't know. If happens, happens. If don't happen.
Where do you have any aspirations? I think you maybe said it's like you want to sell a painting for $20,000. Is that kind of then I think that how I think of it is like making a contract with your future self or that future date, and I'm saying it out loud, and I think you attain those things. You have to like put it out there though. Kind of
Yeah.
like if you build it, they will come.
At home and have a big home. Yeah. So we need to work hard, especially in California.
Yeah.
In Florence? No, where? In the camp. So you can go there, leave me here, and have some holidays with the kids. And I go there to help. I want holidays. I will be the boss, both. Okay, we will be both the boss of the camp. You are just the boss of like organizing people, having fun, and the brand. And I'm behind the scenes, like today. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I believe it. So in your job previously, so do you think that gave you you were in advertising and marketing, so did I feel like that gave you the thought to I feel like to help Clara? Was that kind of like, hey, I want to be different here because this doesn't feel right, so I'm going in this direction. Did that give you kind of the
Mostly,
background?
I had a company before in Italy, so we used to sell power wheelchairs, and
Huh.
we had a big community on Facebook in that time, so a blog, everything. So I always was marketing oriented, but at certain stage, I was like, uh, the mind was really closed in Italy. It was a market like just men, it was complicated. I was also foreigner for them because I was Brazilian, and even if I had my Italian passport, and then also I was young. So it was at certain stage I said I can't grow anymore, I can't be creative anymore, and then I just start with Clara for like I don't know why, just let's do that.
Right. Yeah.
But when I start, I did everything like Clara is an artist. She was 12 years, and the first exhibition we had all the notebooks, postcards. So it was like you go in a museum and you
Yeah.
have everything for the artist. So I always treat her, she's an artist, and if you want her art, you buy or not. And then we start getting a lot of calls and people saying I want to buy, and I was okay, but how I sell, I didn't know anything about art, so I did her e-commerce. And then we asked the authorization of the judge in Italy because it's not easy like here. And my lawyer was they will never give, it will take so many time because she
Hmm.
was 12 and no, they didn't had any case. And then we ask, okay, I will, you can show just a second. We asked for the judge on Friday, no, on Thursday afternoon. And on Friday, we had the authorization. So Clara was the first kid to have her own company in Italy. And then it was like a sign. My lawyer said it's a sign of God. And I never stopped. So I was working in both companies. It was really like a mess, not a mess, but working mostly all the time. And then I just said, okay, I will follow my heart. And this is Steve, the guy of the camp. And
Wow.
we just dropped everything. So I sold the company, and we asked the visa for Clara. Everyone said you will never get the visa because Clara is disabled. She's 14. And then the pandemic hit. We got the visa. And we were like just traveling for all her exhibitions in a van. And then in certain stage, we said, okay, now we don't have a house anymore. The visa didn't arrive. What should we do? I will show. And then in the end, the pandemic hit. And when Trump closed the borders, everything, we said, okay, let's go to Canada because they are Canadian. And we got like 2 days after we decided to go to Canada, we got the okay, you are getting the visa. But then all the consulates were closed, and we were like, we are burning our visa time and we are here. So we asked the consul in Florence, saying, look, our lives stopped, and they gave us a special authorization to come to the US with the borders closed. But we had 30 days to leave the country. So we got this authorization December 3rd, and December 23rd we were here with 6 bags, and that's it. So it was.
Wow.
Clara wants to show her guinea pigs.
Oh my gosh.
It's
My daughters would
chocolate
love those.
and brownie.
Oh my god. So cute. Two guinea pigs, you
This
guys,
is
Clara?
chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. All right, well, I think that's about an hour. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. Clara, do you have anything you'd like to finish off with or say or
Do you want? What? Okay, think.
yeah, take your time.
We can tell, but not sure. Okay. She wants to finish saying about because she just saw a video of Andrea. Andrea was the first guy that bought her painting in an exhibition in Florence, and then he bought more than 30 paintings, artwork, so he was the biggest collector of Clara. But he had surgery complications and he died some months ago.
Hmm,
So
I'm
Clara
sorry to
was
hear
very
that.
grateful for him. And yeah, and she wants to have the paintings back.
Okay.
Uh, but it's family things when someone dies, so we couldn't reach yet. But she's, where is my paintings? Because he had one of the best paintings, when we
Yeah.
were. Yeah, we don't know. We hope they didn't throw away the paintings. No,
Oh no.
someone has. We need to see, so we didn't take care. It's also, someone died. We cannot say where is the paintings. Like, he was really nice, and he was always following. And when we were in Italy, he was coming to make pictures for us. And you were sad. Who? Andrea was sad that we moved here, and he had a heart surgery. Yeah, we don't know what went wrong, but he had a heart surgery. But when Clara was in Italy last time, she was to visit him. She went to visit him one afternoon because you just stayed 4 days there. Yes.
Well, Clara, Bettina, thank you guys so much for your
Thank
time
you.
and sharing your story. I appreciate it, and I think that I say this to my kids and my wife, and that everyone is an artist. Everyone has a gift, and I think Clara, you're an example of that. To persevere, to be an artist. Bettina, like to ensure that your daughter has a future and like be contrarian to in love, because I think there's nothing else that you could do. So thank you both very much for being on this podcast and in call signs. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Please, if you guys could share where they can find Clara's art and any relevant, the website, Instagram, and all that.
Yeah, you can just Google Clara Woods and you will find the word there.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then, yeah, so Clara Woods, just Google that. I
Yeah,
think that you
Google,
guys have
Instagram, everywhere when you put, she will appear.
awesome. All right, again, well, thank you guys so much for
You.
being here. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.